Hey y'all, it's your girl Jay May and welcome back to my channel. And for today's video, I am super excited because as you can tell by the title, we are finally pivoting into the makeup space. So without further ado, let's get ready and let's start the video.
Of course I'll be pushing they buttons. I hold up control like the gamers. Like blah, keep it a stat. Bitches is active, we keeping it crack. Bad little redhead, she bout to black. We come out, it's a movie, but we don't do back. Live from London, straight from the palace. Manda Magalis, I text us like Dallas. Keep it a bean, yo. He talk nice cause the pussy gave me how.
Usually when I first start, I like to have a great base. So you want to start with a clean face always. So I already washed my face. The only thing that I didn't put on was sunscreen. So for the sunscreen, I will be putting the Sunbum Face 50. Hopefully it will focus. Oh, it likes me today. But yeah, I'm gonna put on the Sunbum Face 50 sunscreen. Now, whenever you put on sunscreen, I recommend SPF 50 and up. Honestly, SPF 30, I just feel like it's pointless. You know, no, actually, SPF like anything below 30 is like pointless. It's like, what are you doing? But SPF 50, which I highly recommend. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on my skin and rub that in. I like the Sunbum sunscreen because it doesn't leave like a white cast, and I know for us like black women, we need that because we don't want to be looking crazy. But for today's instance, like with makeup, honestly, I think the white cast wouldn't really matter. But I just prefer one that doesn't have one. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put on sunscreen. Okay, now that we are moisturized and greased up, okay, now for the moisturizer, I like to use the Naturium gel moisturizer. I will put it up here. I don't have it like within reach. It's like in my toiletry bag, but I like to use the Naturium gel moisturizer. I am on my second bottle and it's really good. So for me, I have combination skin, so I do have oily and dry skin. So whenever I would wash my face, usually it will be dry right off the bat if I don't put on any moisturizer. But usually when I put on that Naturium moisturizer, it'll soak it right up. It is so good. Now that we have a clean face, I usually like to go in with the brows first. So if you haven't seen it, I already have an eyebrow tutorial. So I will put that up here. And I'm trying to think if I really want to show you how I do my eyebrows, but I really want to do my eyebrows differently this time. So I'm gonna just take you along with me. So I like to get a spoolie and just clean up the brows. And you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna get into the face. So we're just gonna bring you in a little bit quicker. So yeah, I wanted to bring you guys in a lot, but so yeah, I really like this angle. So yeah, I like to do my eyebrows first, only because before we put on like I feel like it's easier to blend out. Like I know some of us like to have like that halo effect whenever we're doing the eyebrows, and it's easier to blend once you put in your foundation. Now, whenever I do my eyebrows, I usually like to take in, I usually like to do it with the Morphe eyebrow pencil. I like to do it with the Morphe eyebrow pencil, but I don't have any more. Like I literally have like a crumb of eyebrow left. So what we're gonna do is use it with a brown eyebrow pencil. Now for these pencils, you can easily get it from the beauty supply store. It usually costs like $2 for $1, so you can get a whole bunch. So after you brush out your eyebrows with the spoolie, you're gonna go ahead with the pencil and draw outline. So I'm just gonna go in. Okay, so I usually like to start from the bottom and then make my way to the other side. And I kind of like to extend it just a little bit. I know for some people it may seem long, but we are going to blend it out at the end. see, so this is like my outline right here. I usually outline it from here, and then I like to go ahead and fill it in. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill that in. I kind of want to use this new product that I picked up yesterday, but I think I'm gonna save it for another video, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do it with the pencil, because I do feel like this is more so beginner friendly, and we're just gonna do it step by step. And also, pro tip is, like, I would say take your time whenever you're doing your eyebrows, because I feel like the cleanup process will be a little bit easier, because if you mess up too much on the eyebrow, I do feel like it's going to be harder for you to create that perfect brow that you're trying to create. So I would say take your time whenever you're outlining. If you do mess up, it is okay. Start over. Practice makes perfect. Usually when people ask me whenever, like, how do you get your makeup to look so good, or eyebrows, etc., honestly, sitting in the mirror like we're doing right now, practicing. Just practice makes perfect. Okay, this is one brow, and then I'm gonna come back and show you the next brow. Okay, now we are not finished with the brows. If you see my brow tutorial, you can tell, like, you know, they usually look like cement blocks before I put the concealer on. This is just my way of doing eyebrows. I believe this is the easiest for me. Until I find out another way of doing my eyebrows, this is how I do it. This is before we clean it up with the concealer. So with the concealer, I like to go in, usually I would like to go in with the same color for the top and the bottom, but I want to switch it up and use a color that is, like, you know, probably 1 to 2 shades lighter on the bottom of the brow, and then use like my foundation shade on the top of the brow, just so it could look a little bit more seamless. I'm just gonna go ahead and put some concealer on the back of my hand, and for today's concealer, I like to use the Ruby Kisses concealer in the shade Fawn. And then what I've noticed is that usually I'll use that brush applicator to go across the brow. Now that works, trust me, I've been doing it for years, but if you want to step it up, use a concealer brush. So you just want to come over here and go ahead and clean up those brows.
You're now listening to He's speeding no right, falling stand on my coochie. He touching a millio coochie, doing good, bitch I'm Gucci. Lot of Asia, he feeding me sushi. When we fucking, it feel like a movie. Bro, bitch ain't never been a groupie. Step on a hoe, I like my nigga booty.
Okay, so as you can see, we got both concealers on the under eye, and you want to go ahead and blend those out. So to blend those out, I would say get either a beauty blender, but if that's too much, do a concealer brush. So for now, I'm probably just gonna do like a beauty blender, but before we do that, I would say I have the MAC Fix Plus. The Fix Plus is usually like an aid to really like help blend out the concealer, because sometimes it can be a little, you know, concealers that dry down a little bit too fast and it takes too long to blend out. I would say the Fix Plus, it will help that out. So I would say just spray it. So on a damp beauty blender, and just go ahead and blend that out. See, with the Fix Plus, I really like it because look how neat it blended out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the next eye and come back. Okay, as you can see, like, it's starting to get really good. I feel like I did this better than my other video. which I'm very happy about, you know, growth. I'm just gonna go ahead and get the next concealer, well, foundation in this case. So for today's foundation that I'm gonna be using, which is actually my all-time fave, we're gonna be using it as our base, is the Revlon Luminous Skincare Foundation. This foundation is super good, and what I love about it is from the drugstore, so anybody can get it, and if you run out, you can always get more. So I'm just gonna go at the top of the brow and outline it. Okay, so as you can see, like, that looks great. So whenever you blend it out, it's just gonna have a seamless look and you won't have that halo effect. And pro tip, if you want to have a steady hand, have your elbow on the table and just use it as a guide whenever you're doing the opposing side. I'm left-handed, as you can see, so sometimes doing my right is a little bit difficult, but when you have a little balance, it's great. But I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this out, and this is what it's like. Y'all, I think this is like the best that I've ever done my eyebrows. Like, y'all, look at these eyebrows. They look great. They look great. So now that we're done with the eyebrows, next what I like to do is go in with either, depending on how your skin is, like your skin condition is. So I'm a person that used to have a lot more hyperpigmentation. Not saying that I don't, but I have a lot less than what I used to before. So anybody that has hyperpigmentations or dark circles, I do feel like I do have dark circles under here because I do work a lot of overnight shifts. So I like to go in with a color corrector, because whenever you put on your skin your foundation, if it kind of looks gray, it needs to be corrected. So for us dark skinned women, we do need to have, you know, a color corrector. So usually they come in orange or peach. Now for my undertones, I do feel like I have like a golden undertone, like a neutral and golden undertone, but I feel like orange would be a little bit too like red, because I feel like some correctors have like a orange and red undertone and it's just too bright and harsh, and it literally seeps through the foundation. So I really wanted to try a peach because usually I have orange, so we're gonna go ahead and use the peach color corrector to go in on those dark circles and dark spots on your base. So on my nose, I do have some dark spots due to my piercing. I used to have a nose piercing, which I really want to get it back again, but I'm just gonna go ahead and cover those spots. Okay, now that we look crazy, we're just gonna go ahead and blend that out with this concealer brush. This is by Japonese, so I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly. The brush is from Marshalls. You will find their whole line in Marshalls, TJ Maxx, in those stores. So I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that out. Oh, and before I forget, yes, use your Fix Plus if you have it, and just spray it on a wet brush, and it'll blend out even better.
That's honey.
Okay, now I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, what in the Casper is going on? But I promise this is just a layer to cover up. So now I do feel like I messed up. I do feel like I did mess up, but that is okay because we can always go ahead and fix it. So for primer, I feel like we should put on a primer before we did the corrector. So I'm just gonna still go in, but I'm gonna go in with this flathead foundation brush. And lately I've been using the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. As you can see, like, this is almost gone. I need another one. But just go ahead and lay that on there. Because I feel like if we went in with our hands, it will kind of mess it up a bit. And don't forget your forehead. I don't know what era that was when everybody was forgetting their forehead, but that was crazy. And as you can see, like, some of that corrector got in my forehead as well. So in this step, I would say do the primer first before you do your color corrector. So we're just gonna get a fan and blow it in. And also, if you're like kind of worried because you see, like, once you put the foundation on there it kind of smear, you can also get a beauty blender, another beauty blender, and just seep it into the skin. Okay, now that you use the fan and dry down the primer and the corrector, you can see that some of the color has came up, but it still looks crazy. Now that everything is dried down, we're now gonna go in with your foundation. So for today's foundation, I am trying to see which one do I want to use, either the About Face or the Revlon. I know I've been raving about the Revlon and I like how it sits upon my eyebrows, so we're gonna continue with the Revlon skincare foundation. So I'm just gonna go in with my Sony Capcut brush. I do recommend this brush. I recently just got it from Target. I think that's where they only sell that on Target or online, but I got the flat top foundation brush. When I tell you it's very dense and packed, it blends out the foundation. So we're just gonna go in with the foundation. Okay, as you can see, we look 10 times better. Do you see why I like this foundation? The foundation, I'm gonna tell you, when it says luminous, it means luminance. Like, it gives you a nice natural glow to the skin. So I did half on purpose, just so you can see, like, you won't look crazy on your entire face. So on this side is with all the primer and corrector all smeared together, and this side you have natural radiant skin. But I tell you, it's really pretty. Alright, just take a minute. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and do the other side and I'll come back. All right, so now we're back from blending. Blending is key. That's why I really like this brush. It really does all the hard work for you. So you really just gotta tap it in. You don't have to do it too hard. But what helps is having a flat top brush and the Fix Plus. These two match made in heaven. As of right now, we did the eyebrows, foundation, and next we are going to do concealer. So, well, actually, one thing that I did want to mention is that now that you see, like, it kind of looks very shiny and everything, very illuminated, but as us oily girls, we can't really shine for too long because it really turns into grease. So this one thing to help, you can either spray the rest of your face or you can set it just so your foundation won't slip and slide once you put in your concealer. So what we're gonna do next is go ahead and do a setting spray. So the setting spray that I'm choosing for today is the Morphe. As you can tell, I have a lot of Morphe products, but the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. So we're just gonna go in, shake that up, make sure, okay, we got some. But we're gonna go in and just, and then we're just gonna go in with our fan. Okay, so now that we put on the setting spray, just so our makeup won't move around, and we use the fan and everything, let it dry down, we do still look glowy, but trust me, later on in the video, we're gonna get take away that shine. So, but we are going to focus on concealer. So for the different concealers, I either go in between the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer or the LA Girl Pro concealer, or the Ruby Kisses. So yeah, just depends on how I'm feeling that day, but I really want to go in with the Ruby Kisses concealer. I really like this concealer. I feel like it's kind of better than some of these high-end concealers, and that is no shade, but this concealer, I like the formula and it blends out really well. So I'm just gonna put more of that concealer on the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna go in with my concealer brush. I feel like when you go in with the concealer brush, you could be very precise and target the areas that you want to hit. So I usually go down here with my chin, forehead, the bridge of my nose, and usually I like to take it from the forehead all the way down. And then I like to put this underneath the eye. I also like to use the same concealer that I like to use on the bottom of the eyebrow, just so everything can like look put together. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna put down that concealer brush, and then we're gonna let the concealer sit on our face just for a bit, just so it can be a little tacky, because once you blend it out, it's gonna be seamless. So, and you get maximum coverage that way. So we're just gonna wait for it to sit just a little bit. Probably usually come back and get your fan on the lowest setting and let it dry down just a little bit, just so you can get a little tacky. Okay, after you come back from your brush, you're gonna pick up your concealer brush. Now, my favorite concealer brush of all time right now is the Real Techniques in the number 206. This concealer brush with a light hand, and that is the key to blending out your concealer. Do it with the utmost light hand that you have. You're going to blend out that concealer, and you're going to see everything come out together really nice. We're just going to go ahead with a light hand and blend out that concealer and watch the magic happen. The best way to have a light hand is use that at the end, because you know you have a little bit more control. So we're going to go ahead and dab, dab, dab. And look at that. Blend it. And you still see that natural highlight at the bottom. You don't, I'm telling you, when they say beat your face, they don't mean literally. Like, you want to take your time and make sure you blend out those edges, because you don't want any lines of demarcation showing that, oh, that's where I know you put concealer. You know, you don't want anyone to be all up in your face. So we're just gonna do that. Bring it all the way down to the bridge of the nose. And then we're gonna go underneath the eye. Now this is very crucial when you have a light hand, and I know I keep saying it, but it is very key, because if you go too hard, you're going to see little imprints of the bristles on the brush, showing that you literally pressed too hard on your skin, and you don't want that to happen. So I'm just gonna go in and tap as lightly as you can. And you kind of want to bring it down and outward. blend out those edges to get rid of that line of demarcation showing where you place your concealer. Okay, you can automatically see the difference between this side blended out and concealed and on this side, so you can see a huge difference. Okay, so now that everything has been blended out, look at it. It still looks great and it looks natural. So if you want to go bright, you can put in a lighter concealer. But for right now, this is like what I like right now. I usually go brighter when I'm like going out or whatever, if it's like for a night out or anything, because when I take pictures I do like that brightened under eye, but this is more of a natural everyday look, so I feel like this is perfect. As soon as you blend out all of your concealer, the next step that you want to do is get a nice beauty blender and go ahead and set your concealer. So in those places where you set your concealer, you're gonna go ahead and get whatever setting powder that you like to use. So I have 2 setting powders, and I've been going back and forth between my good and trusted Laura Mercier translucent powder and the Kimchi translucent powder. The Kimchi translucent powder is actually really good, but it's just something about that Laura Mercier that I really like. So I think for today we're gonna do Laura Mercier. This is the e.l.f. beauty blender, and I tell you, I love it. It gets in those little cracks and crevices. So I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this and put that powder on here. Take the powder and dab it on those areas where you put concealer. And then once you go underneath the eye, make sure it's not too clumpy like this. Dust it off on the back of your hand just to get some of that excess powder. As you see, like that. And then go in. And then if you pay attention to your face, you can tell that that shine has gone away from earlier, that glow, you know, because we want to set it with powder. But don't worry, you can bring that shine right back if you want. So from here, you can let it sit, to really let it like sit on the face, just so it won't move around. But right now you look really smooth, even though we look kind of ashy just because we just put powder on. But don't worry. So once you got all that down, you're gonna want to remove some of the excess of your skin, like the excess powder that's sitting on your skin. So you're gonna get a nice powder brush, which I don't have, but if you do, use a powder brush and just wipe that excess powder off. Now the brush that I do have that I am going to use is by Real Techniques. It is the buffing brush in the number 204. So with the Real Technique brush, you can get it in a set, while that way, you know, you don't have to buy brushes separately. And also try to use clean brushes. Don't be like me and use dirty brushes. I would say just use clean brushes. I would say you get the best turnout, like the best results when you use clean brushes as well. I should have said that in the beginning of the video, but it just reminded me because I'm over here just trying to get off the remaining excess of whatever this was. But I'm just gonna go ahead and dust off that excess powder that was sitting on my face. All right, so now that we are almost done. We're almost done, I promise. So right now we kind of look flat. We do look flat, but we still look good, you know? We want to bring some color back to the perimeter of our face where that natural warmth comes in. So we're gonna go ahead and contour. So the contour, I don't have any cream contours. I really want to try a cream contour, but I don't have it. So this is mostly everything that I have is from the drugstore, as you saw throughout the video, but I'm gonna go in through the OG Black Radiance True Complexion contour palette in the shade, I think, deep medium. Oh yeah, medium to dark palette. Right here they have two different shades. I'm just gonna go ahead with this shade, the contour shade. Now with this one, I do feel like it does come off a little red, but that's just something that I can't really control because it's the only contour that I have. I'm just gonna go ahead and dip it in this pan right here, and then you want to dump off the excess and go ahead and dab it on your natural contour line. So if you don't know, do this little old trick. You're gonna go ahead and do a little doublet, and you see that little line right here, when you see that natural darkness over here in your face, you're gonna follow the lines of your face, and that's where you're gonna place your contour. So you're gonna go ahead and do it like that. Now as you see, it did come off very harsh, but that's okay because we can always blend that out. So, and as you can see it's kind of red. That's why I'm like, I need another contour, but it is okay. We're gonna go back in with that palette, and from there, make sure you dump off the excess. You can go around the perimeter of your face. So I'm gonna go in with the other side. Yes, very red. Don't really care too much about this contour, to be honest. Now I'm like, I feel like this was the right amount of contour, where this was a little bit more harsh, but we can always blend that out. So I'm just gonna dab a little bit and put some of that natural color back into the rest of my face. You're gonna go all around, and that's where it connects, right here. And then you're gonna come down here and go along the jawline. This is what I usually do, and it brings back like a realistic, you know, feel to the face. As you can see, we brought some color back, and you look great. You look great. Look in the mirror. You look great. So I know some of you are like, Jada, how the hell do I get this little line of demarcation out of here? I don't like it. Hold on, hold on. That foundation brush that you had, you're gonna get this. Now, whatever powder foundation that you have, I want you to get it. Right now, I have the Maybelline full coverage, the Super Stay full coverage powder foundation, and I like to just dip it a little bit, not a whole lot. Dip it in just a little bit, tap the excess, and along those edges I like to blend it out. You see, kind of just blend out those edges of it, and you are good. And if you take too much of your contour off, you can always go back. But for contour, I do believe that less is more, because it's like the contour, it really just represents the shadows that's in your face. So you just want to go along those edges of the contour and blend that out. Now this may not be the right brush to do it, but as you can see, it looks 10 times better than what it did before. So like, look at that, it looks super smooth. So right now our full face is almost complete. Like, this beat face, it looks super natural and it's unclockable, okay, because we are matched to T. So so now that contour is done, I usually don't set up my contour because, like, usually some people cut it underneath the cheeks. I don't do that. I feel like it accentuates that you do have on makeup. I just believe, like, if you just do that little trick, you get the little foundation, you just blur out the edges, it'll be just fine because you already set your foundation. I don't feel like you need to really set it. No, that's probably an unpopular opinion, but that's something that I like to do. Next is the eyes. So for the eyes, I'm really just gonna go very simple. I'm gonna use like some falsies and probably put a little, just a little brown finishing powder on there, just so it can look a little bit more natural, if that makes any sense. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this Black Radiance Soft Focus effect filter and just honestly get this nice little eyebrow brush, dap it in there, and then you see a lot of excess, that's why you have to dab it, and just go along the edges and just do it that way. And when you do that, make sure you just drag it out that way. If you don't want to do anything else, I feel like this is the easiest and simplest way to really just have an eyeshadow, but not eyeshadow. And then next, you want to go in with your eyeliner. So for the eyeliner, the key is to really just look down, or if you got to get all up in the mirror, do so. So with me, I like to be all up in the mirror's grill and just put my eyeliner on. I like to usually go in with the pencil liner. Now if you have a gel liner, I do feel like it is easier, but something about that pencil liner, it works a little bit better. So I like to go in. And whenever you're doing your eyeliner, because sometimes this could be the crucial part, like, you can start in sections. And then you have your eyeliner. Next is the lashes. Now for today's lashes, these are from the dollar store. Now look, I found these in the dollar store and they look so pretty. Now how I put on my lashes, sometimes I like to use tweezers and sometimes I like to just put it on my I just put it on with my fingers. I feel like me putting it on with my fingers gives me a lot of control. I like doing it that way because I can literally just put it on it like that. I like doing it that way. Now for lashes, I need full concentration, so I will be back when I put on the lashes. I can actually do a separate video on how to put on lashes both ways, so I'll be right back. Okay, so we put on our lashes, we look absolutely stunning. So for the next step, we are going to go ahead and put on our blush. I don't know why I completely forgot about our blush, but for today's blush, I want to use the one that I found yesterday in Marshall's. It is the Revlon powder blush in the color Tickle Pink Rose. So it comes in this. I feel it's beautiful pink. This is gonna be my first time actually using this, so I really hope it looks good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use that concealer brush because I like it as a blush brush too. So I'm gonna get another brush like this just specifically for blush. But what you're gonna do is smile and put it on those cheeks. And you can take pick up your blush however you want it to. If you just want to put it in this area, you can, but it's such a radiant like pink. It's such a blush pink. It is so pretty, but it's really like chalky and powdery. So because looking in the mirror I can't tell, but when I see it on camera I'm like, oh okay, it is like showing up on the skin. But it looks great. So yeah, we got our blush. And then if you feel like you put a little bit too much, you can always go back with your foundation brush and just go over it. Alright, and for the last and final step, like, your face looks bomb, okay? Like, honestly, I kid you not, I feel like this is the best time that I've ever done my makeup, and I'm so happy. For the last step, we are going to seal everything in. So depending on your setting spray, you either want a certain type of finish, you either want a matte finish, or you want a satin finish. So it just depends on what setting spray that you use. So for me, I really wanted to have like a matte finish, just because since I'm an oily girl, it's like throughout the day it's just gonna come out dewy. So I want this to last all day. For today's setting spray, I found this yesterday in Marshall's. This was a really good find. I got it for $12.99. This is the Milk Matte Pore Eclipse setting spray. So we're just gonna lock in everything. So this is the spray. Yeah, I like that. So we're gonna go ahead and go ahead and just lock in everything. And what I like about this is that since we locked, you know, we set our foundation earlier, is that nothing is moving around. Nothing is moving around. So I'm very happy about that. And you just want to get your fan and go ahead and blow away. Now that we set our face, we're gonna go in with my favorite part, which is the lips. I want to go back in with the pencil that we use for our eyebrows, and we're gonna use that as our lip liner. So I'm just gonna go in and sharpen my pencil because I like it when it's sharp, so I get a precise lip. So whenever I line my lips, I love using this as a brown lip liner. I don't feel the need to purchase a lip liner for like 20 bucks. So like I said, you can get these $2 for $1 in the beauty supply store. So please excuse the noise of that. But for today's lip combo, I really want to do a nude lip. So my favorite nude lip for right now, and I'm just gonna use a drugstore just so everyone can get it. This is the Maybelline Nude Lust lipstick. This is a very pretty nude. So I'm just gonna use this as the base. And then for the gloss, I like to go in with the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade, is it Sugar Cookie? Or no, Fortune Cookie. Alright you guys, as you can see, this is the final look. I am so happy how it turned out. I can honestly say this is like probably one of the best times I've ever done my makeup. I don't know if it's because I did it on camera or whatever, but I'm happy we caught it. But oh my goodness, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really hope it was very informative for you guys, and I really wanted to make it very easy. It is easy, but it does take practice. You know, with anything that you do, practice makes perfect. But I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and before we close it out, let's just appreciate the look. Like, again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Again, it's your girl Jada May, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.